You're live. That's what's up, man. All right. It's about time we had this discussion, as if I've been doing it enough on my YouTube channel, I guess. But I had this requested by someone to do this live discussion on deconstructing religion. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. So whoever's up for talking about it, who's ever up for it, let's get to it. That's what's up. We already got two partiers tonight. Friday nights spending with me on live stream. That's legit. So yeah, we're gonna party on live and talk about deconstructing religion. That's typically what I'm like getting my phone charger right here. That's why I'm moving around so much. But this is typically my Friday nights now, talking about this stuff. I dig it. I'm all for it. Are you guys? What are we pretending to know this time? That's what's up, man. I was looking for that comment right there. We are pretending we know. Well, I don't really. Okay, so here's the thing, man. Deconstructing religion. Is there really a lot of pretending in that? You know what I mean? I mean, if we know how to deconstruct religion, we know how to deconstruct religion, you know? I don't know if there's a whole lot of pretending to know how to do that, but yeah. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just getting myself situated. I'm trying to put my phone on this thing. What is going on? There we go. All right, got all this stuff. Not having the best day today, so I'm up for a discussion to hopefully lighten my mood a bit. Well, hopefully this lightens the mood. I don't know. Well, the topic of conversation tonight is deconstructing religion. So, if that'll brighten your mood, then sweet. The first time I caught you live, excited to see how this goes. Yeah, man, me too. It's always a fun adventure, these live chats. Never know how they're gonna go, but that's what's up. Eric, what's up? What's up? I guess I have you on live until baseball kicks in, right? Screw it. That's normally how I have to open water bottles because of the inflammation in my hands. So you're welcome. Yeah, I feel you there on people pretending they've got a solid argument on deconstruction of it. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of solid arguments for deconstructing religion, basically, because I think religion is, well, you guys know how I feel about religion. How about you kick this discussion off, Nate? So that's what we are pretending we know today. Yes, we are pretending we know. Well, all right. So what do you guys think on deconstructing religion and the necessity of it? Because personally, I think that there is a necessity for deconstructing religion and deconstructing belief systems that you were grown up with, that you grew up with these belief systems, and the only reason you believe them is because you grew up with them or believe them. The only reason you believe them is because you grew up with them. The only reason that you are acting the way in which you act is because somebody told you to. So I think it takes these things typically of religion, but I think deconstructing religion, that's the focus. But I think there needs to be a lot of deconstructing to be done with habits that we have had for the first, I don't know, 20 years of our life, roughly, that we need to deconstruct. Presumably, I mean, honestly, a lot of that, the crap that comes out of people not willing to deconstruct comes out of religious stuff, comes out of religious jargon and religious beliefs that is just nonsensical stuff. So that's why I just wanted to open up the discussion panel on these live streams and talk about, deconstructing religion, because I think it's a necessity. I don't think it's one of those things where, oh, I don't need to deconstruct. I think the people that don't want to deconstruct religion are like they are afraid to deconstruct religion because they're afraid to get out of the way that they are living. They're scared of change. That's what it is. They're afraid to deconstruct their belief system because they're just afraid of change. And I mean, change is one, fear, but then you go back one word to fear, and you see, fear is what's stopping them from moving forward, because oftentimes change is what moves you. Obviously, change is what moves you forward. But yeah, I'm ready to have another day of mind-opening conversation. That's what's up. Live stream Friday, man. Hey, it's coming to where this is going to be more than one time a week, so get ready for that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of shame in deconstruction of your own bias. Yeah, but why is that? Let's talk about why is that. Hi, everyone. What's going on, man? I just recorded a new song. I just added some final tweaks in it. We'll probably upload it next week. Dope. Stoked to hear it, man. Cassandra. I just said hi to you, right? If not, hello. So yeah, like I was saying, fear in deconstructing religion. Fear, there's that fear, shame, guilt, all that in deconstructing. So yeah, man, what do you guys think about it? You guys think it's good, bad? Do you think like I think? Do you think differently? Which is, I mean, all for it. These discussions can't really happen if we all think the exact same. So there's that. Yeah, man. You know, I've actually, I'm like, should I start these lives at 6 o'clock? Because it seems like things don't pick up until like 6:45-ish. But religion is very much linked to culture and to people's heritage and identity. Sure, it's involved in their culture and people's heritage and identity, but that doesn't give people license to act the way that they act and to do the things that they're doing, because sometimes those morals or those things that they call morals aren't doing anybody any good, and most of the time they're just twisted. And so I don't think that should get in the way of deconstructing religion. I think people need to deconstruct religion, deconstruct the ways that they were brought up without having to look at, oh, but this is my culture. This is just how my culture is. This is just my heritage. This is how my people are. And it's like, honestly, I think that's an excuse, because if you're worried about yourself and you just care about yourself and you live really selfishly, then that's fine. Use that excuse. But if you want to live for humanity and be a good human being, not just good in your cultural setting, but a good human being, then you need to start deconstructing your beliefs outside of your culture, your heritage, and what your identity is. I mean, what is your identity? Who are you? Are you your culture? Are you your heritage and your identity? I'm not saying those things aren't important, and I'm not saying to not value those things. Yeah, absolutely value those things. But are they who you are? Yeah, I mean, they are a part of you. They are in your upbringing, but are they like in the deepest part of who you are? Are they who you are? So I don't think that, heritage, culture, I don't think that can be used as an excuse, because ultimately that's just an excuse for fear. But yeah, I think it's an excuse for fear, and it's an excuse because of fear, because people aren't willing to change what they're afraid of change, but then there's still fear involved. So yeah, that's what I think about that. All right. Why? I think the shame comes from Christian parents fearing judgment from other parents when a 20-year-old leaves religion. Shame comes from Christian parents fearing judgment from other parents when a 20-year-old. Yeah. I'm confused on why you're asking me why, because I agree with that. I think someone asked last Friday why you speak about God so much if you don't believe in him. I was like, really? Maybe because God and what comes after life is one of mankind's biggest questions. Yeah, it's one of mankind's biggest questions. And again, it's so important because, like, are you living life for yourself? Are you living life selfishly? or are you living life selflessly? Are you living life for humanity and for other people? Like you're just saying right now, this is one of the biggest questions in humanity, and it has been since the beginning of time. Who knows if that will ever change? And so to take part in this discussion is to take part in being human. Like the moment that you start not wanting anything to do with this discussion, I think you're leaving out a huge part of yourself. And obviously that gets into a whole other topic, a whole other host of, it's opening up a can of worms. It's a whole other deal. But I still talk about it because I'm still on my journey for me. And I think, yeah, it's one of the biggest questions in humanity. So even if I decided I don't believe in God, I would still feel like as a human being, I would need to take part in the conversation, because if I do know the truth, if I am right, if, saying if I don't believe in God, which I don't, so that's a different discussion. But like, if I was like, God is 100% not real, I would still have to take part, not that I would have to, take part in the discussion because, I'm a human. And if I do have it right, if God is not real, then I would want to present my arguments showing people that, or just encouraging people in that way, because, that's truth. That's living by truth. So there's that too. In my country, we are baptized and do something called, oh, wow. Oh, I'm behind, guys. Confirmation. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep. Not joking. I personally started questioning my faith, was an Anglican Christian quite some years ago when I consistently prayed for God and to turn my household's fortune around, and then realizing that the things I was praying to be changed were problems because of my lack of personal responsibility, and that some of the things I did in abiding on my faith brought bad instead of good. 100%, 110%. There's so many things, I agree with that 100%. Like there's so many things where people think prayer is the end all cure all, but it's not. Like we got to do stuff about it. I love you. Thank you. I think people want to believe in the religion that they're indoctrinated into, because it can be scary to admit that you don't know the answer to such a big question. Yeah, no, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to come into the realization that something that you lived by your entire life is now in question, like your entire foundation. That's how it felt for me. Like when this all hit me, like in a split second, when I went from, the previous day I was reading my Bible hours at a time, and then the next day I was like, I don't think I believe in any of this. Like that, my entire life, it was like someone just pulled the rug out from underneath me, and I was falling in the abyss, and I didn't know what was up, what was down, resulted in a nervous breakdown, and it lasted quite some time. And so, yeah, it's terrifying. And how do you deal with that? What would you say to someone that says, "What do you have to lose when you say you don't believe in God?" That's Pascal's wager. There's a whole bunch of issues with that. Literally, I thought this was way later. Nope. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You asked why on my previous comment. I was asking your why by the time. Oh, okay. Skepticism can be good even if aimed at your own beliefs. Absolutely, 100%. Either you'll prove your beliefs true, or you'll rid yourself of a false perception of reality. Absolutely. And the thing is, most people are terrified to be like, how people say we are our worst, like, me as an artist, I am my worst critic. And I have to be that way as an artist. And it's not that I have to be that way. I guess I should say I choose to be that way as an artist, because I'd rather hear it from me and make sure that I'm okay with my art, make sure that I'm okay, like not worrying about what everybody else thinks, because typically in the art world, you're just so worried about what everybody else thinks about your voice, about your music, about acting. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself, but you're so worried about what everybody else thinks. But if you are your own critic and you fully accept, yep, you know what? I'm not as good as I think I am when I really think about it, then you get this huge reality check. And then when you get to a point of saying, oh, look, like I think I'm actually like close to industry standard, then it's like, okay, start actually listening to what other people are saying and be humble enough to take that critique and don't be filled up with pride and all full of yourself. And I think people need to do that same thing with their belief systems. They need to be their own worst skeptic. They need to be their own, you know what? I feel like I'm 100% sure about this, but you might not be 100% sure if you were to really dig into it. And if you were to realize, hey, I actually grew up and inherited these beliefs, but what if they weren't the case? And then they start looking into it and then they get scared and then they back off. And it's like, it's coming into that boundary of fear, man. It's like fear is insane, man. Fear will hold you back so hard. But if you accept in your belief system of being your own worst skeptic, being your own worst critic, because I'm sure the ultimate nightmare, and this goes on both sides of the spectrum, the ultimate nightmare for someone who says, I 100% believe that God is true. Their ultimate nightmare is like a diehard atheist. Like, I 100% don't believe in God. But I think these two should be best friends because they're going to challenge each other's beliefs and say, hey, what's the actual truth? That's why I appreciate those people. Even though I'm not on either side of those spectrums, I appreciate those people because I want every single last one of my beliefs tested. I want, I'm my own worst skeptic, but I want other people to be my worst skeptic as well when it comes to my belief system. And I think this is something that religion needs to inherit, because what religion says is, no, I'm not going to be like, I know what I felt. I know how I feel. And it's just so destructive. Like, so destructive to spirituality, to moving forward, to your emotional health. It's just like you are willingly choosing to believe a lie. Like, yeah, I mean, I talked about the placebo effect and the nocebo effect and all that kind of stuff. Well, I didn't talk about the nocebo effect, but the placebo effect. And it's just like that plays a role in this as well. So anyway, that's a long rant, but I think just like in the art world for me, like in my music and acting, filmmaking, whatever, even YouTube vlogging and stuff, like I have to be my own worst critic so that I can make, like, for me, for myself. And so in religion and spirituality, I think it would be a totally different game if the people in religion and involved in spirituality became their own worst skeptics. So that's a great point though. Yeah. So I agree with that. Yeah, no, Luli, this discussion, this was Luli's idea. I was thinking, what do I want the discussion to be on tonight? And Luli, what you said came to mind, and I was like, this is her night, because I realized that you said that you planned for this, and so I wanted you to be a part of it. And so, yeah, this is all thanks to you, Luli. Have you seen videos from Jay Cold Case Christianity? It's real interesting. Definitely recommend it. I've not seen that. If you question everything, you will feel like there should be an answer always, but that's not the case. Question things you already have an answer to. I think I understand what you're saying. Oh my goodness, you talk so long. I mean, is that a problem? Oh man. Do you not want me to talk so long? I mean, is that what you're insinuating? Punching the brick wall for the first time can be a daunting task, in part because what we choose to believe in, authority excluded, is our belief due to it catering to our general worldview. Challenging our belief would also require us to challenge said general worldview. Yes, which would be a kick in the gut of anyone's ego. That you're 100% right. But it's that ego that needs to be punched in the gut. So there's that too. I believe having fear is a good teacher. Once told, if you don't have uh, fear, because teacher once told me, if I don't have fear while taking final means you don't care if you fail or not. People who don't care if they bomb final exam have no fear. You should always have at least a little fear. Yes, you should always have at least a, I don't know. Okay. So is that fear or is that being uncomfortable? Being uncomfortable and wanting to, yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, okay. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And I do think fear is not always a bad thing. But in that situation, it's not a bad thing. But I think in a majority of cases, besides that sort of situation, I don't think fear is great. Well, if someone says they struggle with having faith in God, must believers say, "What do you have to lose?" They believe that it can only be a positive addition. But can it though? I mean, there's so much in religion that is not a positive addition to your life in a lot of ways. What would you say is your reasoning for not believing in God? It's not a reasoning. I didn't logically make my way out of it. I just realized, I came to the realization that I don't believe in God. I don't understand why that's hard for people to grasp. What is your moral reasoning for making that stance? Because ultimately no one can prove it. So it comes down to a moral stand. It doesn't come down to a moral stand. I don't think it does, at least. And if you feel like I'm wrong, please explain it a little bit more. But for me, it's just, I literally woke up realizing I don't believe in God. I mean, I didn't wake up realizing. I realized during the day, a lot of things happened that day. And I just realized, I was like, I don't believe in God. There wasn't any reasoning in it. It was just like this realization. It was like I literally saw the light, and I was like, I've realized that I've been living by my parents' standards. I've been living almost looking at my parents as God, because I realized when I did something wrong, I didn't feel sorry for it. I knew that God would forgive me, but I was scared to tell my parents. And it was like that fear let me know I'm actually serving my parents. I'm not serving God. So who am I actually believing? And there was a whole bunch of other thoughts involved with that, but it wasn't like I reasoned my way out of believing in God. It was just me literally, it was the weirdest moment, because I saw the light, but it was the darkest light I've ever seen, if that makes any sense. But I didn't reason my way out of not believing in God. It was literally like a realization. I'm like, I don't believe in God. If you stop talking, I'm going to leave. I hope that I mean, I guess that's a compliment, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. The Dunning Kruger effect can be seen a lot in music and religion. You start out overconfident, and then the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. Totally. I agree with you being your own worst critic, but sometimes you can find something amazing and other people might think it's not. Don't necessarily change your mind. There's different opinions. I agree with you being a worst critic, but sometimes you can find something amazing and other people might think it's not. Yeah, true. Okay, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, different opinions are for sure definitely a thing. But I'm talking more along the lines of like in general, like whether you are good or bad. Now people can have their opinion, like I don't like his voice, like he's good, but I don't like his voice. That's an opinion. But I'm talking about you thinking you're hot shit and you're really not. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of thing. I grew up in a Muslim family, and the fear of God and hell has ruined my life. Now I'm an agnostic and skeptic. Yeah, that's real. I don't blame you for that. Good on you. I'm sorry, I get so thrown into these topics and conversations. I never ask, "How are you today?" I'm good. I've had an okay day. I've had an okay day. It hasn't been amazing, but it hasn't been not good. So, yeah, I'm all right. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that, Cassandra. Cassandra, damn it. I'm gonna get it. Like, I know one of the ways I say it you like better. I just forget. Thanks, Nate. I'm so excited. I just really need to learn to type fast. Let's do this. Hell yeah. Proof that God exists is found in the extremely precise fine-tuning fountain. That's not. No. You can't ignore the factor of fine-tuning in the years. Yeah, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that also string theory is a theory, and the multiverse is also a theory. The fact that God did the fine-tuning is also a theory. Like the fact that there is fine-tuning does not mean foolproof evidence that God exists, in my opinion. And a lot of people would agree with that. Was an atheist working in the area? I'm behind on the comments, guys, so I promise I'll catch up. I won't talk as much because that annoys some people. So he took upon using the method of police into Christianity. You should check out. He has a book the same name. I think we want to talk about fear. We should listen to NF. But no, seriously, he has the best explanations. Yeah, I think that another big issue people have with deconstructing is that religion gives you an objective moral standard, and it's hard to make a case for your morals from a subjective standpoint. Um, I see what you're saying, but I've had this discussion with a number of people because they say, "Where do you get your morals from? Where do you get your standards from if you're not a human being?" I mean, wow, not if you're not a human being, if you're not a Christian, or if you don't believe in God, where do you get your standards from? And I always tell them, look, if you look at like more humanistic thinking, which is basically look at what is best for us and look at what is best for humanity and live in that way. And then you get some sort of moral standard, even as an atheist, right? Some sort of moral standard based on like a humanistic approach. And then Christians say, well, we have this approach and God is the one who gives us our standards and ruling of life and all that, the morals and stuff. But here's the interesting thing that I always tell people is that if you look at both of the morals that like both humanistic type thinking and religious moral standards, if you look at the moral standards like on a basic level, they're pretty much the same. And so what does that say about both? Like, my point is the argument can be made from both sides. So whenever I hear people making arguments out of moral standards, it always trips me up because I'm like, you can't really say that because humanistic thinking ends up with a similar result, just looking at what's best for me and the people around me. They both end up with a similar result. And so I hear what you're saying, but yeah, yeah. I think you would agree with me. I think you would agree with what I'm saying. Hope I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So Nate, how would you define the concept of deconstruction of faith? I would say looking at things that you 100% believe to be true, or you think that you believe to be true, and asking the question, is this reality and is this truth? And that can be a scary thing. You looking into something, I mean, there's not even much motivation behind that either, but you looking into something and intentionally questioning, like, do I believe this out of like a more placebo effect type of thing, or is this actually the truth? And some people want to look deep into that, and some people don't. So happy you saw the light. Was same way with me when I started questioning and left Christianity. What do you think God looks like? I have no idea. After learning about the universe, yeah. I'm in the same boat, so I get it. Take religion out of it and just consider God. Most people that believe in God will admit they can't prove it, but they stand behind their faith because of the fact in their life. Would you want to have faith in something like that? I don't believe, but I see the reasoning they do believe. When I started moving away from Anglo Christianity, I briefly took up learning. Oh, cool. Honestly, I desired something structured that would do the moral heavy lifting. I found things to pragmatic. Yes, yeah. I'm a pragmatist. Love pragmatism, the philosophy of it. Oh, okay, pragmatic and stupid. But one thing that stood out was paraphrasing. Religion exists because people do not trust themselves nor each other to govern their own lives. That's real. Anyone in this chat should check it out. It's very, very interesting. Will do, Eric. In your opinion, your uneducated opinion. Okay, so what if I'm uneducated? So what if I don't have a doctorate degree or a PhD in religion or philosophy? I'm studying this stuff because it matters to me. Like you can go off to school and get some sort of degree and like be some hotshot in religion, but what is it if you're not actually living it? What is it if you're not actually questioning it? I mean, that's the whole point to this like YouTube channel that I have. I mean, yes, so many people talk about it, but who's actually living it? Like, yes, it's my opinion. It's my subjective opinion. Sure. But I mean, I think it matters. I think everybody's opinion matters. I think all of our opinions matter. But actually, I think the opinions that matter most are the people who are legit seeking sincerely with all of their heart and not just, growing up in a Christian home and then deciding I'm going to get a doctorate or a PhD in theology and philosophy and I'm going to, do this. Like it's, yes, it's my opinion and it might be uneducated, but I'm living this out for me and for my life. And I'm learning about this stuff and I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong in a bunch of things. And yeah, sure, it might be my opinion and my opinions will change. But I mean, I don't, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it is. I do have an uneducated opinion, if you want to say that. But um, my point in this, me saying this, is I'm living it out and I'm seeking it out. Where a lot of people that do have educated opinions aren't really doing that. So there's that. So a mess, shoulder shrug kind of day. Yeah. Love having these kind of discussions because it gives me so many new perspectives and I realize how much I want to cling onto my own truths until I'm proven wrong. That's real, yeah. Oh, I'm behind. Sorry about that. The moral standards, the architectural moral standard values. Where do you think they come from? Is that a rhetorical question or are you asking me, Luli? Biology and culture, biology and society. I don't know how to answer that, yeah. That's why murder is condemned everywhere, but honor killings are considered moral in some places. Love thy neighbor, or culture defines who is a neighbor. Yeah. Quick question. Do you believe believers? Quick question. Do believers believe in mental health? Man, I gotta be honest with you, Sean, the real Jordan, for real. On the real Jordan. I was involved with the church for many years, and I look back at it, and I see a lot of people that would have benefited from a psychologist, or psychiatrist, whatever, a mental health uh, someone to help them out that's actually studied, and they just didn't do it. It was all spirits or demons, or they needed deliverance, or this and this and that. So to answer your question, I don't really know, but I didn't see it a whole lot. When you say to a creationist that we get our morals from evolutionary past, they say it is just a sure having 5 fingers instead of 6. What? No. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what is your opinion on faith? I think faith and belief are totally different concepts, and I have some videos about it. I'll go on a rant about it if I get into it, so I won't. I do have some videos on that concept though. Um, and I just put it out like in the last 2 weeks. Is science the best answer to proving if God exists or not? No, I don't think it is. I absolutely do not think it is. Not yet, at least. What's up, man? Sorry I've been absolutely late. Big Kid, what's going on, man? Soul searching. That's not bad. That's good. About to make a diss track on that dude that talked trash on your opinion. Do it. You would really like the pastor of the church I attend sometimes. He is a philosopher, and you can sense it. So interesting. That's dope. A pastor that's a philosopher. I like it. For someone who wants to deconstruct religion, they have to feel miserable because of their religion. Yeah, people who are happily religious will never want to question their faith. Yeah, I mean, that's true, and it's unfortunate. Yeah. Science has been used to prove that God exists, and it did. I have trouble having faith. My logical mind tells me there is a, but I can't put my faith in something that is completely unknown. Your logical mind tells you that there is a God. That's interesting. But I can't put my faith in something that is completely unknown. See, my understanding of faith is different than most people because I've looked into it a lot more than most people have. And so that's why that sentence doesn't really make sense. So I guess to be pragmatic about things and to get somewhere with that comment, what do you think faith is? What do you think it means to have faith in something? I love your uneducated opinions. Well, thank you, Cassandra. Cassandra. Oh my God. I know. Which one is it? Which one do you like more? Cassandra or Cassandra? I'm going to get it right. I'm asking you. Okay. I need to. Where do you think they come from? The moral standards, moral values. I think they come from the evolution of human consciousness and human mind. I'm talking from a more atheistic standpoint. The human consciousness and the human mind, and just seeing throughout history and like from the past and from different things, obviously, that we've seen, oh, this doesn't feel good. This hurts people. And it's like love and loss, right? It's like we see that this helps us to fall in love, helps us to change, brings us into joy, brings us into this and that. And we've also felt that, like, killing and murdering people doesn't do anything good for our society. It doesn't do any good for people. So life is always better than in regards to living life. Life is always better than death. That approach. And I think it's just evolved from these really simple ideas and simple things of just actually experiencing what's right and wrong, and then having these moral standards pop up out of that. Now, obviously, Christians and creationists would completely disagree with me in that, which is fine. But I don't think the argument from moral reasoning for God's existence can really be met. I don't think it's a good argument, personally. Powerful evangelists put propaganda out there to undermine the scientific community because science has broken such grounds it would destroy the facts of religion. Well, I know of some people in religion that would disagree with that statement, but from a traditional Christian standpoint, yes. Hey, just saw your live. How's it going, man? It's going good. Backwards Panda, how you doing? Why is science not the best answer of proving that God exists? Anything that has an impact on the universe can be studied by science, even if you can't see it directly. Because people, so the reason I don't think science is a great way to prove that God exists is because there in science there's always two different theories. Everything is just a theory. In I mean, no, not everything is just theory in science. But when talking about the creation of the universe, like we know based off science, evolution happened. But how that evolution started is a theory. Like God starting it all is a theory. The Big Bang is just a theory. Some people think they were the same thing. And I mean, the whole, the fine tuning argument that is reason that God fine tuned the entire universe. That's an argument for God, but it's also an argument for the multiverse. And so, like, there's so many things that are in science where it's like this is just an opinion or a theory, even though the scientific fact is there. But people are trying to point at that fact and say that this was the act of a supernatural being. But science has that fact because they say, well, we can point it to natural causes. And then the Christians say, well, it was natural causes and God created nature, so therefore it was God. And it's just this back and forth argument that will always exist as long as people try to prove God through science. That argument will always clash. And so if God does exist and people are trying to definitively prove his existence through science, it will never work, in my opinion. And I could be wrong about that. I might even change my opinion in a year or two years down the road. I don't know. But I just know that from what I've seen in the past couple of years that I've been on this journey and I've looked into these arguments from science, I just see that there's so much clashing. Like there's no like it depends on your belief. It depends on your bias belief. First of all, if you believe in God and you see this scientific fact right here, you will say, yep, that's God. And the scientists will look at that same exact fact and say, yep, that's evolution. It didn't happen by God. It happened by the evolution of nature. And then there's that thing again where the Christian says, well, God created nature, and so it's God. And it's just there. It depends on your opinion, or your belief and your bias of belief. If you believe God exists, then you'll point to science. If you don't believe that God exists, you'll point to science. It's just it doesn't add up, in my opinion. And like I said, my opinion on that could change. But as far from what I've seen, science isn't a great way to prove the existence of God. Okay, now I'm way behind. Your theory, I'm a theory, life's a theory. LOL. Okay. Eric, your birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, dude. That's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm way behind. I'm talking a lot. Maybe let me know if you guys are annoyed by me ranting and talking. I hope you guys aren't. I don't know. But now I'm self-conscious or self-aware of it because that one person was like, "You talk too much." Okay, so experiences. Yes. Experiences that have been tested. I would say so. Can we test subjective experiences? I think that's the externally subjective experiences. I think that's the question. I think religion was created to control the masses and manipulate people with fear of hell. But being spiritual is something very real, as you can feel it, just not believe it. I agree with that to an extent. Burnsy Raps, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I agree with that. Thanks, Slashy. You got the goat. You the goat. Hey, Eric, I wish you happy birthday. After, minutes after I said it. Religion was cause of most of our first wars. As someone who deals with mental health, I don't think it's the person who has lack of faith or demons. Sometimes it's just the person kind of lost hope or can't find hope. 100% real. Yeah. I agree with that. Okay. Pronounced more like Cassandra here. Deconstruct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cassandra or Cassandra. Cassandra. I like Cassandra. I'm gonna say Cassandra. Deconstructing something and questioning it is for me. Is almost always bound to lead in finding flaws, and I think it's what scares people to do it. So true. Why doesn't God just come down and tell us what to do? It's a good question. Yeah, well, it wasn't me, so you can back off, but okay. Thanks. Yeah, man. I'm glad I've never, man, I'm almost there. I'm trying to get past these comments. Friended people that won't be open to discuss their beliefs. The fact that these closed-minded communities seem so far to me makes me grateful in that sense. The fact that these closed-minded communities seem so far to me makes me grateful in that sense. So annoyed, Nate. Okay. You a young kid. That's dope. Nah, man, you a man. You a man. Eric, that's awesome, man. Happy birthday, for real. The whole point of this is to talk. You're okay. Glad. Talk too much. Yeah, okay. The reason everyone came here was to hear you talk. Well, I'm glad. This is encouraging. Thank you, guys. Why would we be mad about it? See, now I feel like an idiot for saying something, but cool. Dope. When you talk a lot, it's just the sort of version of the thought. You to go too, Nate? Hell yeah, Eric. The only thing that bothers me is that you keep worrying about talking or ranting too much. Man, it's a topic you want to talk about so much. Talk about. I'm enjoying it. If they aren't, it's their loss. Well, hell yeah, James. That's what's up. I find it unfair that God shows himself to some chosen people and then just have to believe, like, love me and then leave. I'm totally with you, Cassandra. Totally with you there. You know, when I studied a lot of the mystics, or from some of my friends and mentors have claimed to have out-of-body experiences and seeing Jesus and having face-to-face conversations with them. None of them, that kind of thing happened overnight. All of them literally, like, they spend their life praying, and they spend their life like in deep meditative states. And the mystics did the same thing. And so when I was into all of that, I realized if I want this stuff, I'm gonna have to work for it, which is totally a weird mindset to have. But you work, and then that gets into the whole idea of working in rest, because rest is not the absence of work when talking about spirituality, in regards to this. And so that for people to really find God or see God or whatever in the way that they want to, if everything that the mystics have said is real and true, I think that it takes work to rest in you, to rest in yourself, to rest in your doubts, to rest in your fears, to surrender to yourself. And I think meditation is a huge deal. I think meditation is a huge thing. And yeah, so the people that I'm aware of, the people that I know that have claimed to have those experiences, and I'm not even saying I don't believe them. It's just really difficult for me to, well, I guess I have faith in my relationship with them and I trust them, but I question what they experienced exactly and if they're interpreting it the way that it should be interpreted. But they worked for it, if those things did happen, they worked for it. They didn't just like say one prayer and expect God to show up, but they seeked him out. And this is one of the reasons why I meditate every single day. So there's that too. Wish I was 18 again. Yo. Yeah. Mysticism and Christianity. What do you think about it? Now it's funny that I just, I read that and I just was talking about it. I think I think if Christianity is the way to go, it is real. I think it should look like mysticism. I think it should look like spirituality. I think this whole religious put in a nice little box of this is what it looks like. I don't think that's Christianity at all. I just think that's bullshit. I mean, so yeah, I do think true Christianity should be mystical. So I think I have more to say about that, but I'm trying to get through all these comments too. You've had a couple dozen live chats by this point. If we were fed up with this, we wouldn't said that quite time ago. You wouldn't be doing this anymore. That's true. That's true though. When was the last time I was one of these jeans? What? It's been a while. Oh, the Lost Taco. Oh my God, dude. The Lost Taco. Dude, I remember you. Oh man, you wreaked havoc for a while. But you did ask great questions. I'll give that to you. When you decided not to be 14 or however old you are. Second body and the other body sleeps, you wake up. You are 20 years old and you actually 40, only 500. Wait, what? Yo, that'd be trippy. Yeah, I don't know about that. Zach Petro. Yes, whatever created the universe had to have an infinite existence because science can only understand cause and effect. So logically, the source of the universe is supernatural to science. I don't think that's the case. I don't think you could say logically. Maybe logically to you, but logical in what sense? I mean, I wouldn't call that logic or reason. I would call that faith, personally. This is literally your life. If someone clicks themselves over here, it is to listen to you and engage in different topics. He was just butthurt because something hurt his truth. That's what's up, Cassandra. That's what's up. But he only human. Yeah. I appreciate that. Dude, I talk more than anybody you have ever met in your life. Think of the most annoying person that talks and talks and talks, and that's me. Oh man, that's awesome. If we met in person, and hung out, you would drain me in like an hour because I'm a very introverted dude. I'm watching Switzerland. That's what's up. Well, hello from Switzerland. Well, hello in Switzerland because you're there. I had a Swiss roommate for 2 years. He was hilarious. Really enjoyed having him as a roommate. I think faith is being in something you can't. I think faith is being in something you can't prove for the benefit of your life and the lives around you. I don't believe in that, but that's how I see it. What? For the benefit of your life and lives around you, I don't believe in that. So you don't believe in faith? Is that what you're saying? Is it just me, or do most of your daily conversation never break surface level? No, it's not like, well, wait a minute. Is it just me, or do most of your daily conversations never break surface level? I try and talk to people about philosophical topics or scientific topics, and no one wants to talk about it. Yeah, dude, that's my life. That's my life. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Oh my God, shut up. Tacos don't have noses. There's hecklers in this chat. Yeah, it's just the Lost Taco. He's the only heckler here. Love it. Yes, you did donate $20. Really appreciate that, by the way. I think it should be mystical too. That's what's up, Luli. We are in agreement. 19. I act like I'm 14, but 19, sir. Gotcha. Wasn't it like your birthday last time you were on here or something? Yeah, you act 14, but I guess you are 19. You act 9, but I need to respect my elders. That's funny. When you go to islands that haven't been touched by outside life, you do see the mysticism behind religion. No bad doing, no killing, just good people that believe I'm higher power. In higher power? Yeah, that's interesting. Where did you hear about that, big kid? Well, Eric, that's what the internet's for. Oh my God. Sometimes there's killing in those tribes. Yep, true. I am a Christian and I definitely admit religion is very wrong in a lot of ways, which is why I live by faith. Religious people drive people away. Faithful people are chill. Not saying I'm perfect, but yeah. The Lost Taco reminds me of those rock fans that attend disco. Oh my God, just having a stupid fun time in a place where it's not necessarily intended for that. Yeah, that is the Lost Taco for sure. Um, there's so much I could say on this, but apparently there's a character limit. Yes, I believe in faith. I have trouble having faith. But you asked me what I think faith is. That's interesting. That's why I didn't understand your comment. Because I do think faith is a concept that can be exercised. I heard it from Christopher Hitchens, who is an advocate against religion, but he says when he went to these islands, he had to admit that there was something special that he would not want to take away. That is interesting. I found it interesting how the Pastors React video you made, your expressions while your dad answered your questions were so interesting. See, it's funny you say that because I feel like me and my dad, well, my dad definitely. I say it's Pastor Reacts videos, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, those of you who have watched this video, my dad doesn't really react in his face. He just like says what he wants to say afterwards. And I feel like I don't think I've totally gotten that from him or taken part in that from him. But I don't feel like I have a whole lot of expressions while he's talking, but I definitely don't share my views on that channel. I just ask him what he thinks about it, and I'm like, okay, let's move on. Next question. I think the next Pastor React should be to John Bellion's Maybe I Don't Know. Yo, that would be good. That would be good. I was thinking about the hiking the whole Appalachian Trail. Yo, you would come right by my neck of the woods if you did that. And I remembered you describing Lyme disease and how it takes its toll on you. So I started second guessing that decision. Man, don't let that be the hindrance. Just check yourself for ticks. If you get a bullseye, immediately get off the mountain and go see a doctor. Like if you get bit by a tick and you see a bullseye mark. So yeah. But I would love to hike that trail. I mean, I already have Lyme disease, so it can't get much worse. Yeah. Change the name to Pastor Analyzes. That's funny. Yeah. What has been said partially by folks over at PragerU is that Christianity and Judaism should be respected because it played a major part in the advancement of Western civilizations ever. I don't disagree with that. I don't think we should disrespect them by any means. So have you ever engulfed yourself in other cultures like Japan or Buddhism? I have not, but I would like to. Especially Japan, though. Sometimes the depth of their inner self understanding amazes me. Yeah, I'd agree with that. The Lost Taco. See, this is where you act 19 again. It's good stuff. They just say things like in anime that just make no sense. Yeah, that's true. But no, I would love to go over to Asia and like, just to explore those things. That'd be really awesome. He advocated that we are not a product of religion, but he gets tripped up when asked about these islands of people we don't know the outside world, but still have a good have a god of some. I'm guessing you meant to say god of some sort, huh? I think that something special is a more ancestral way of human living. Is a more ancestral way of human living since tribes had zero contact with today's civilization. Some of them, like had no king, just a chief to organize. Huh. Yeah, it is interesting. Since its conception, care to explain how that's wrong or right or both? Okay, so your first said, what has been said is that Christianity and Judaism should be respected because it played a major part in the advancement of Western civilizations ever since its conception. Care to explain how that's wrong or right or both? Yeah, I don't think any religion, organized religion or sect of religion, whatever, should be disrespected. I do think that I think that in every bad thing, bad thing, actually just for my podcast, I made a podcast episode about the Joker and the show Lucifer and asking the question, is there such thing as pure evil? So look forward to that because that's coming. But anyway, in all these things that like I'm not a fan of religion, obviously, but in those religions, in Judaism and Christianity, I think there are principles there that can be exercised by everyone despite what you believe. And so I don't think either of them should be disrespected, especially if they have a lot to play, a lot to do with the conception of how we've how our Western civilization has the advancement of it. And so, yeah, I don't think they should be disrespected in the least bit. I don't think it's right or wrong. Um, I don't think that's the right question to ask. But yeah, I think they should both be respected 100%. If you do not enter the tiger's cave, you will not catch its cub. What? I guess that's from some weird anime. Nate, can I share this site I told you a long time ago about a guy who made a site where people deconstructing their faith can join in a single place? Yes, please share that with me. Shells, what's going on? Glad you could make it. Glad to see you here. There's an interactive map and discussion board where people ask questions and discuss topics. That is what's up. Love it. And you can find people close to you that are in the same phase. That's amazing. Yes, absolutely send that to me. Absolutely. Yeah, maybe you already have, but I just was busy. Well, that's where Hitchens is wrong. Religion doesn't cause war if not changed. A frog in a well does not. A frog in a well does not know the great sea, meaning people are satisfied to judge things by their own narrow experience, never knowing of the wide world outside. Yeah, I like it. I agree with it. What platforms will your podcast be on? All of them. iTunes, Google, Spotify, or I guess Apple, because they're not really iTunes anymore. But all of it, all the podcasting sites, it'll be on that. So I figured out a way to explain where I'm at spiritually. Please let me know. Let's hear about it. Or how they express love. They have 3 words that mean love, each with a different meaning. All right, the Lost Taco, you are intriguing me. Now tell me what these 3 words are. That new song by Dax is exactly where I am mentally. Huh. Interesting. I like that song by Dax. I don't know how I feel about Dax. I don't know if I like him as an artist yet. I've listened to a couple of his songs, and I just think there's something about him. I can't pinpoint it yet, but I don't like it. But I do like that song. That's a good song, Dear God. There you go. Send it to me if you wouldn't mind. Where'd Eric go? Did Eric peace out? Maybe he's watching baseball or something. All right. Surprised I never asked you this. Maybe someone else did in other chats, but did you ever watch other atheist channel like The Amazing Atheist, Undoomed, anything like that? I watched a lot of The Cosmic Skeptic, Rationality Rules, The Atheistic Experience. Those were pretty much the top three that I always go to. If I'm just sick and tired of seeing all that stuff. Cassandra, never apologize for being you. That's why we are here. Viva la Rambo. Oh, Cassandra, you are incredible. Thank you so freaking much. You have honestly no idea how much that means to me. You are a champion. You are a champion. Thank you. That is, wow. I'm very blessed right now. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Same way about Dax too. Man, Cassandra, I'm like thrown off. I just really appreciate that. Seriously. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, felt the same way. Okay. I don't like I don't like Dax, but I tried out that God song and it was surprisingly good. You say that word. For the friends and a person you like, you say that word. For a more serious relationship, and you say, that's interesting. That's amazing. I really, really like that. Where is that? Japan or China? Came back at the right time to hear you say my name. What happened? I took a bathroom break. No, I was just wondering. I was like, where'd Eric go? He hasn't said anything in a while. God is gray. God is gray. She is great. What? What freaking currency is that? I don't know. What currency is that, Cassandra? Dax screwed over a lot of smaller artists on collabs. He's right to feel funny. You're right to feel funny about him. He's a decent artist who seems like an asshole in real life, though. That's what I'm thinking. But that part of him, that part that seems like an asshole, that shines through his music. You can tell that. Like I can tell by just listening to his music. I'm like, this dude is arrogant and super prideful. Like I can hear it in his voice. Like I can tell these things. I'm really good at picking that stuff out. And that's what I keep feeling. I'm like, he's okay, but you can just tell he thinks he is so much better than what he is. So, I mean, he's got skills, no doubt, but he thinks he's a lot better than what he is. Like, what is that in dollars? I have no idea. Honestly, I just really appreciate it. How could you define good and evil to begin with? Only that how could you define good and evil to begin with? There's a number of ways you can define it. Only way I see that is the major group would just follow one's ideology and how easily influenced they became, like a flock of sheep. Following, I assume, is the shepherd. I'm not sure I'm following you right now. And how easily influenced they become, like a flock of sheep. Yeah, I'm not following you, GD. With either that's an alien or a devil face. I can't tell. Well, is that? Didn't the Greeks have like 7 words for love? That's pretty dope. Yeah, actually, I think they did. You're right. It's a YouTube channel. God is Gray. Swedish. Nice. Is it in Sweden where it's the typical blonde hair, blue eyed? Because that's like your picture. I can't really see your eye color, but I can see that you have blonde hair. That's like where all the very attractive models are. James, what did you want me to send? He's like MGK, but probably not as bad. Uh, I play a video game with some Swedish kids. I know he did screw wrong, but yeah, for sure. You can tell a lot in music. I heard Humble and John Bellion. Yes. Kind in NF. I heard Passion in NF. That's why I really like NF. You hear colors in their music for sure. You said it best. He's got skills, but he thinks he's way better than he really is. Yeah. $20 in the US. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Well, thank you so much, Cassandra. You have made my night 100%. Thank you. Thanks for taking your time to do this chat and read my comments. I've got some things to deal with online, so I have to end here. Keep doing Nate, man, and live long and prosper. Will do. Thanks, Blackbirds. Can't wait to see you next time. Peace out. Eric, I was wanting the link you were telling Nate about offline. She is a beautiful woman, eh? From the looks of it, yes. I haven't listened to a lot of NF. Well, why not? He's amazing. The Cold Case Christianity link. You can't just say that. That's racist. But we do have that stereotype. It's not inaccurate, but not all are true. Yeah, that's like the same thing in Canada. Like most Canadians I meet are always like smoke shows. And I told one of them that. Well, I told my Canadian friends that, and they're like, "Yo, you need to come to Canada because there's some ugly people here." I was like, "Well, I haven't met them." So yeah. But so it's good to know that that stereotype isn't entirely inaccurate, because it still makes me want to visit Sweden. Shells, you're missing out. Yeah, that's real. NF is the GOAT. Passion, truth, and pure fire. True music makes you feel something, not because the instrumentals are great, but because it feels like a short trip and not like the artist really tried to sound emotional. Yeah. Yeah, I have heard he's so good. I'm not going to lie. I got really caught up in the church uh skew screw drama. Yo, I don't know this SCU. Is that another rapper or something? Luli. So Nate, let's hear it. Lay it on me. I'm ready for it. Let's go there. I'm waiting, Luli. I'm in anticipation. So you have a question for us? I can think of one quick. Well, a question just came to mind that's super like nostalgic, but I won't go there. Let's see. Do you think you all listening to this who are commenting are humble enough to admit to yourselves where that part of your belief system could be wrong, or and that, like, even the things that you're sure of could be wrong. Do you think you have the humility and bravery to dive deep into searching those things out? I mean, obviously, if you're here, that says something, but I don't know what you guys do with your time, from Saturday to Thursday. you know, all my sisters have gorgeous ice blue eyes, and then I get brown eyes. But all right, ain't nothing wrong with brown eyes. Blue eyes are beautiful, but brown eyes are also gorgeous. So I bet you probably look like a model. Like, just basing that on your profile pic, you're probably in like a family of models. Wouldn't doubt it. Was friends with Dax and apparently got taken advantage of. Ah, that's a mess. Yeah, they went at it for a second time. It's up church and screw. This screw guy sounds like a whack job. Go there. I want to, for real. How do I share links, James? I heard this question before. Oh, okay. All right. So I'll think of a new question. New question for you guys that are still tuned in and listening. All right. For those of you who believe in God, why? Have you had a personal experience that you say this 100% changed my life? And was that experience just a feeling, or was it a externally subjective and objective experience, or what was that? Or what is your justification, if you will, for believing in God? Or do you just have faith in God? You don't believe in God, but you're on a faith journey. Which is it? And which is it? Yeah. So that's my question for you all. Is saying you're humble? I think you can say you're humble and be humble. Yeah. Yes. At the end, if I'm wrong, I've lived a good life and I can be proud of that. I like it. Good. Chaos, insurrection. Are you do you believe in God, or are you more on the atheistic side, or? Absolutely. I'm starting to question it. Thus, I watch you. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, Chels. But I haven't seen or heard anything to push me away from my belief system. Okay. I'm very honest about that. We can't really be sure of most of what we like, but even in the unknown, we just got to go with the flow and keep doing our best life. Yep. Came in on the words whack job. That's a good place to be. I don't know. I've had a hell of an experience on DMT. Well, there you go. Where's Joe? Who knows? Do I need a justification? I mean, I would say so, but apparently you don't feel that way. So, God or science? Well, science theorizes that there once was a big bang and it's probably how the universe started. That theory is no different than a religious one. I'm not disagreeing with you there. So I think that when religious people say that God can only benefit you, I would say that it actually narrows your free will into a corner rather than letting it choose its morals for itself. I agree. Pretty sure I agree with that. If I'm understanding what you're saying, I 100% agree with that. I'm back. Oh my God. All right. You had to eat. When I read had to eat, I really think I have dyslexia. I literally almost said listexia. So when I read had to eat, what I read was had to eat a taco. That's my life. I recently heard this line from John on his song Adult Film. He says, I can't pretend I'm not talented. For me to fake humble's a corny way to be talented. Goes hand in hand with my humble question. John Bellion's Adult Film? Man, that must have been on one of his old albums. I don't think I've listened to his very first album yet. I have felt and experienced things you can't explain. Went to the doctors in the cells lining my gallbladder while it was pretty much exploding the night before I went to get a scan right before my surgery. So I was raised in church, but always felt like the only person who never got to feel him. So I stopped going, and now I know that I don't know. Okay. And now I know that I don't know. Either that's it or there's another thing coming. I think I believe in a God because after digging in philosophy classes, psychology, and life experiences, I noticed that it's a decision I took because it helps me to live life better. Do you believe in Mr. Both's beliefs on religion? I don't know who that is. Such a deep question, Nate. Well, that's my life. That you ask, if you want me to ask you a question, it's going to be a very deep question. That's how my mind works. Wow, I freaking hate you. Well, yeah, that's fine. That's all right, Taco. The pastor of the church I was going to at the time prayed with me, and when I went to the doctor the next day, they could see any damage done. The doctor couldn't explain it, but did the surgery anyway to be, all right, safe. That proved to me God existed. Well, there you go. Not bad. It's just a really personal experience, Nate. Oh, that's not bad. I'm not asking you to share the experience, but wow, I've just lost my place. Yeah, I'm not asking you to share the experience, but I'm just curious. I messed up the line for me. Fake humble is a corny way to be arrogant. Yeah, not talented. Sorry. It's from my newest album. Okay. Glory Sound Prep. I gotta be honest. Glory Sound Prep. I wasn't a huge fan of that album. I think there was like 2 songs that I liked, but I wasn't a huge fan of that album. The only justification I have for my belief is Jesus on the cross. Okay. Do you show yourself as much love as you show other people around you? Are you asking me, or is that a rhetorical question? I can answer you honestly that I do not. I do not show myself as much love as I should for the people around me. That's a constant problem I have in my life that I keep coming to. I have like this savior complex about me. I think that everyone else is more important than me, and I can just let my emotions, I can put it all aside for other people. And it's actually it's terrible. It's ruined some of my relationships. So not a great thing thinking that you can save everybody. But yeah, no, I'll 100% fully admit I do not show myself as much love as I show other people. Yeah. A gift and a curse, I guess. I don't know. I was frightened by what I had gained. Graham Hancock was right. There is something that the system does wants a mess, and that's why it's illegal. System doesn't want the mass to know, and that's why it was illegal. Are you talking about DMT drugs? Get that? Okay. I can't answer to that question in 200 characters. This is terrible. Well, I'm sure you'll let me know on Instagram later. How do you think the universe started? I don't know. I have no idea. And I think that's okay for me to have no idea. I don't have to have an answer right now. These are the things that I'm searching for. Along with my own self, I had lost the other, with my own self, I had lost all the other slaves as well. I had lost other people, and I missed them very much. Hmm. I'm trying to get what you're saying. Uh, TS Folia pranks. I'll just say pranks. I think you're going in different. You're trying to say one thing, one cohesive thought in multiple messages, and I'm not following. This is the one thing I hate about the live chat on YouTube. Wow. I'm behind on comments. Apologize. I've always loved science, but when I was a believer in drug, really deep shifted my beliefs. I've never known enough about these medical conditions to know how impossible recovery was. I agree with you, Caleb, 100%. I would love to share it. That sounded as if I didn't want to share it. I would love it. Well, share it with me. I'd love to hear it. Jess, what up, sexy misfits? That's the proper way to greet the misfit family. What up, sexy misfits? Well, I appreciate it. I don't know if that was Jess. I just appreciate you. Love it. OMG, it's clever. Oh man, Jess, the Lost Taco is here, and you guys are gonna go at it. This is good. This is great. This is absolutely great. Jess, hey, she even donated. Can relate. I was asking you. I love and have respect for the honest answer, but I wanted you to say yes and then tell me how you can do that. Can relate. So tell me how I can do Cassandra. You mean I was okay, so you were asking me love and have respect for the honest answer, but I wanted you to say yes and then tell me how you can do that. What do you mean how I can do that? Like how I've learned to fix that or how I've learned how to work on that in my life? Is that what you're asking? With a great butt, winky face. That's what's up. The world is nothing but despair and no one sees it. Wow. All right. I was just seeing what he. The world is nothing but despair, and no one sees it. Hey, all right. Flicks with a Z. Got a question for you. Do you see life based off that? I think I know the answer to this, but I'll still ask the question based off life in general. So, do you think life is joy filled with pockets of pain, or do you think life is pain filled with pockets of joy? By the sound of it, it sounds like you would be the latter, but I think that's all in perspective. That the world is nothing but despair. I think that's completely in perspective. I eat tacos for lunch. I'm very interested in DMT. I am too. Have you ever seen the show Lost? The two main characters. Oh yeah, love that show. Love Lost. Had so many great conversations on faith. Jack was an atheist while John was a man of faith. I loved that show so much. I think I'm gonna watch it again. It's just fantastic. I think this guy is a great person. I just wanted to see if he agreed. Me? Since it was all that there was, I could sense there was that which resisted both in being and becoming, and this something was nothing more than nothingness itself. What? Yo, you lost me, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow. I can't. OMG, Lost was a great show, and they did have great chemistry. I love that show so much. How you show yourself as much love as you show others. It's so much easier to help and love others. It is But the thing that I've had to learn through that, Cassandra, is that I've realized how much out of those relationships where I had this savior complex, that I was like, what I feel and what I'm going through doesn't matter. I just need to help other people. What I've realized really is I can only love people as much as I love myself. And I've realized that because of how much I hurt myself while pushing all my feelings aside and just being like, nope, I'm just going to care about them right now because they need it. And so I have that in mind of like that's a consequence. So like that's the consequence to relationships, and the relationships can be hurt, which would hurt me, hurt them, and hurt us in the relationship, no matter who the relationship is with. And so for me, I've had to really pay attention to how I'm feeling physically and emotionally when I'm out and with people, and especially engaging in conversation and relationship. I got to ask myself, like, do I need to step away? Like, do I need some rest from people and from this relationship and whatever? And if I do, then I need to step away because I'm not going to be any good to them. Like, you're so much better in a relationship, no matter what that relationship is, when you are filled, like when you yourself are filled with energy and for love for yourself, you're so much more of a help in that relationship. And when you're completely empty, then you don't do a whole lot of good. And so it's taken, and this is something I'm still learning, but I realize this. And so I've had to be like, it's it's the better side of being selfish, and not that it's good, but you got to be selfish in that sense, because if you really want to be selfless, then you have to be selfish with love. Like you're like, you need to be like, I got to love myself so that I can truly love others the way that they deserve to be loved. Because if you don't truly love yourself, then you're never going to love people to the fullest that you're able to love them, because you're always on empty. You're always, like you're always starving for something, but you're unwilling to eat anything. And so you got to be, yeah, to get rid of that savior complex, you really got to learn to be selfish with yourself and with loving yourself. And then you'll really be able to truly love other people the way that you feel like they deserve to be loved. So hopefully that makes sense in what I'm saying, which I mean, I basically just summed it up, but yeah, that's what I think about that. Man, okay, I am way behind. So this placebo effect, I was wondering if belief in some mystical experience when we take acid or DMT is why we have one. That could possibly be the case. Lost is awesome. Pain with pockets of joy. I have a good life. I just think there's so many bad things in this world, and people just walk over the. I'm happy that you are a good person. Well, thank you. Thanks, Flicks. Appreciate that. Didn't expect you to know Lost. That's dope, man. I love that show. My boy Jack Shepard was my favorite, and Sawyer. Yeah, dude, for real. Love Jack. I think, man, who was my favorite character on that show? I don't think it was Jack. Maybe Charlie. Um, 24812. Oh my God, I think I remember the numbers. 24812 6. No, 248 12 16 23 42. I think those are the numbers. Hey Nate, what does it mean when they have the wrench next to their name? It means they are a moderator, so they can block people and they can uh, put people in timeout. So there's that. All right. Oh boy. The way to look at it is karma doesn't know the difference between me and you. so you can receive bad karma from being shitty to yourself. Yeah. Yeah, I spent time on that show. I agree with you, Jess. Yeah, I mean, obviously, totally see what you're saying. Shouldn't have ended that soon. Yeah, and I was pissed when the writer strike took place. Ruined it. Ruined that season at least. Yo, Simba, that's real. I need to watch Lost again because now you're bringing up all these things. Like Simba just read your comment about pressing the button every 4 hours because he believed it. Believed that the world would end. Yeah, I need to watch the show again for real. Why, thank you. I hear you. I hope that helps, Cassandra. And yeah, hope that helps. But that's what I would say to that. Everyone, drop a like for this guy. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Nate, have you taken breaks from questioning what is truth? How has that been? I normally just sit down and watch a sitcom. I'm joking, but I'm completely serious. Like if I don't like serious, I mean, my head is constantly spinning about all this stuff unless I'm like watching a movie or just like I don't know. I'm watching New Girl right now, rewatching New Girl, and I haven't seen the last 3 seasons. And so that's like that gives my mind a break. But as soon as I get off of that, yeah, I literally just lay down in my room on my back and I just think because my mind's always spinning about this stuff. Um, but that feels really good too. So I don't honestly I don't know if I've taken a break from it much, which maybe I need to. I don't know. Fortnite guy timeout last week. The power of moderators. If you will understand what I'm asking, but whatever. Laughy. Oh, that's funny. That's good. Can I ask a question? I know this is not the type, but why is love so painful? Oh man, I made a video about that. Did you watch that video? Is that why I asked that question? I literally made a video titled "This is why love hurts so much." I have a video titled that, and I talk specifically about that. So I'm curious if you've watched that video. Have you watched that video? And if not, I would encourage you to go watch that video. And when you do, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I'll take a thumb monkey if you've got one laying around, though. That's good. Why do you find it so easy to believe? It's never been easy. Oof. Oh, yeah. Man, I need to rewatch that show. God, that's good stuff. Then she comes out of a coma. What do you do? That's a very weird example. Or that's a very weird question, not example. Um, I don't date her best friend. I don't know. But I think part of the experience is taking a break. I agree with that, Luli. A good break from all your thoughts. You seem like you are always thinking a lot. I really am always thinking a lot. That's for sure. But it might be a part of you being exhausted so much too. I know Lyme is not easy for sure. That's 100% accurate. But really, you are a really wise guy and think a lot. That I do. Internal screaming. What's the internal screaming about? Why internal screaming? That's funny. But what I don't understand is keep this is totally off topic, but I think I'm gonna watch Joker online after this. Do it. Do it. If that happened, I would stay with the new guy. Love is love. Part of this experience is giving yourself. I agree. I don't understand why I feel like this every time. I try to keep falling. I don't understand why should I not love. Let me know what you think once you watch that video. I think that video might give you some insight, but I'd love to answer any questions. Comment on that video because I'll be able to give you a much longer response. Dude, Calvin Faith, what up, homie? Looks like I'm late to the party. You are way late, but it's all good, man. This woman fell in love with her best friend's fiance. She asked a coworker if she was a terrible person, and her friend said, no, there are no moral absolutes. Yeah, I guess I'd have to be in that situation to really know what I would do, but I haven't given it a lot of thought. But you bring up some good you've brought up some good points, Jess. For me to love other people more than myself, give advice. I always feel success far from me. I don't, you know. The comment not far above mine. Yeah. Got it. I have a question. Just before I start, can we discuss the ending of The Last of Us? Wait, what? The ending of Last of Us, it's been out since 2013. Yo, I haven't seen that. That's because she fell in love from a loving place that she wasn't leading with a malicious heart and she wasn't receiving bad karma. There are always casualties in war. It's true. Well, I mean, I don't know. It depends on. Yeah, it depends on the situation. That whole thing, being in a coma, falling in love with their best friend, and then waking up. It all depends on the situation. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh my god. My question is, what did you think of Joel's decision at the end of? Yo, all right, you just retracted that. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. Now I think I might need to watch it. That whole thing about pain and love made me think of when you said we shouldn't feel emotions like we feel music. That still hits me hard. Or we should feel emotions like we feel music. I'm glad that you remember that. I like it. Glad that had an impact on you. My mother cheated on my dad. So my brother and my best friend's stepdad. They said they did nothing wrong. Then why did it ruin my dad's life? Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I totally see that point of view. Let's talk about deconstruction, my friends. Throws holy water on the blasphemous boy. Yeah. From the aspect of karma, they likely haven't. Love the way Joker says Murray. Yeah. I feel like the teacher who wants to control the class. I feel that, Luli. Yeah. At an hour and 45 minutes into it, I just kind of go with the flow. But bring up a question, Luli. Propose a question to ask the class. Nothing worse than being guy from the mist who killed family right before. So bad. What? I'm feeling worried for the trolls. I'm feeling worried for this live conversation. I don't know where it's going now. I'm so lost in these comments. Daniel Sloss on Netflix. I don't think I did. Having some trouble with my authority here. Oh, man. What emotions do you think people that find themselves deconstructing have in common? What emotions do you think people that find themselves deconstructing have in common? Emotions, well, I guess I would say traits. I don't know. I mean, obviously authenticity, being genuine, passion, and people that truly want the best and to love. I don't know emotions with that. I think a lot of people that are deconstructing are learning to be of sound mind. I think a lot of people that are deconstructing lived most of their life by their right brain, the creativity side of themselves, and now their left brain needs to be exercised. And so they've actually, I think people in the deconstructing process are actually learning to control themselves a lot more and gain control of themselves a lot more rather than just let themselves be whisked away by their emotions, by their own subjective experience. I think the people that are deconstructing religion, what they have in common is a sound mind. Man, do you love him? He's right up. All right, I gotta look him up then. Uh, The Mist by Stephen. I think I have seen The Mist. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time though. Yo, that O'Brien dude has me worried. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping that some of you would talk to him in the comments. I mean, I have no idea what to. Yeah, I've been, hopefully he's still here listening to us chat. I mean, I feel for him. I do. I get it, but I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, what can I do? I was deconstructing myself for a long time, but it took away my best traits. Nate needs a Red Bull sponsorship so the stream goes over to. Yeah, I might die on Red Bull, even though I really enjoyed some Red Bull. I wasn't sure if he was acting or not. Yeah, that's what I thought the same thing. So sorry I didn't see that you were responsible. That would not have been so hard. I just realized that I'm going to get woken up at 4 a.m. tomorrow by my parents because of my birthday, but I don't go to sleep until around that time anymore, so I'll probably still be awake. Man, that's rough. That stuff shouldn't be taken lightly. I know. I'm with you 100%. Um, Nate, you should play the guitar. Just saw it in the background. I've been trying to learn as well in the piano. Hey man, if 26 people want to hear me play guitar, I'm all for it. I think. Trying to look for my capo. Lily, where are you at? Let's get this conversation in the right direction. The internet is the real world. Saying stuff online is still saying it. Couldn't agree more. Sing us a lullaby to end off the stream. Plus, it's late. It's getting there. I'm here, okay. See, they're up for it. Mindfulness meditation, that's some good stuff. I'm so lost in the comments. Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Was that documentary on Netflix? Jess, don't go. Don't do it. Jess, please don't go. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. I saw a documentary on Netflix about it. Was that documentary on The Mind Explained? Richard Rohr. Yes. Yes, I like it. Richard Rohr. I've heard you mention his name plenty of times. I know you're saying his name for a reason. We were not God. We were simply all that. Oh my God. Let's talk about him. What about him? Man, this live stream started off great, and now I'm like, what is happening? I bet you have done research about him. I've seen him in the research that I've done in philosophy. I haven't researched him, but I've seen some of his opinions on the research I've done. Well, actually, I know you sent me a message about him on Instagram, and I think I was like, wait, I think I know this name, and then it was somebody different. Didn't you say that some of his views on God and stuff was looked at more like new agey-ish by some people in the church? Do you believe Loki was right in the first Avengers movie when he said that deep down people crave to be ruled over, and if we do, why we do? You know, that's a great question. And what I think about that is the people that want to be ruled over. There's a couple ways you could go about it. You could say we need a leader because we can't just be everywhere. We need somebody being a leader, or you're just too lazy to take care of yourself. So I think there's truth in that because people do need to be led. Leaders need to be led. Leaders need to learn to serve. But I think in that context, what he was talking about was more of a dictator, and I don't think that's yeah. I don't think he was right in that. But I do think that people do want to be led. I think there is some truth in that. If you checked out Unsainted, what did you think of it? I'm gonna be honest about Unsainted. Didn't do it for me. It really didn't. I was like, this is a cool song, but I just didn't see anything different about it. I was like, this is just typical Slipknot. It was like, okay, this is good, but I wasn't like overly impressed by it. What is going on? You tell me. Oh my God, what is going on? Yo, all right, this live stream is about to end soon. I'm gonna give it a couple. I'm getting lost in all these comments, man. I'm like, don't even know where. I'm gonna skip some people's comments. Sorry about that. The sadists of the world want to be ruled over. That's true. Willie G, what up, man? Yeah, I like your take. Ruled over is a bit. Yeah, I like your take. Ruled over is a bit much. Being led is more in the lines of truth. I didn't want to run anyone off. I really didn't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Shells, you're good. You're good. I would don't worry about it. I understand your concern, and I really appreciate it. But don't worry about it. Yeah. I appreciate your concern, Shells. That's what I'm trying to say. I appreciate it. And I see your heart in the matter too. So universalism has been mentioned a lot, especially with Richard Rohr, as he has written stuff about the universal Christ. Has anyone heard of that? Oh yeah, I've heard universalism all the time. Hearing it a lot more lately, and I gotta say, I'm even leaning that way more in theological studies. Theologically speaking, leaning that way more in eschatological stuff. So. But I haven't heard Richard Rohr's take on it. Rohr, his take on it. So love to know his take on it. It was on that documentary. I found it interesting that the monks could control parts of their brain. Yes, I love that. I watched all of those episodes and that the Mind Explained stuff. It's amazing. You should end the live stream and go FaceTime Cassandra. Well, I'm down. I had to stop in and say hi. Gotta go train. Hope life is okay. It's all good. Thanks for stopping in, Willie G. Nate, I'm cooking with my mom while doing this. That's amazing. Hi, Mom. Whenever somebody says that they're with their mom and I know that they can hear me, I call them Mom. So, hi, Mom. About you not liking Slipknot, to each their own. I'll let you slide. No, it's not that I don't like Slipknot. I just wasn't overly impressed with the song. You guys hyped it up pretty. I mean, there was a huge hype behind that song, and so I was expecting something, a really, really, really good song, and I was like, nah, it's okay. It wasn't bad. It was just it wasn't what I was expecting. Looks like I missed the good yeah, the good conversations was in the first hour. The second hour has been kind of hectic tonight. Here's for the OG Snow Day. Oh my God, dude, that is an old poem. That's when you could really see the Lyme disease taking over my face. I look back at that video and I'm like, oh my God, I was so swollen everywhere up here. Does the Bible infer God as an omnipotent being? If so, are you familiar with the omnipotence paradox? Yes, I am. I'm going to go, Nate. Shells. Oh, no. Well, if you do go, Shells, I really hope you have a good night. And I'm sorry the way things have ended up tonight. It's actually a really huge bummer. But everything will be fine. It will be okay. I know it. It'll be fine. So, if you do leave, good night. But if not, stay on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wrap this up in like 2 minutes. So, yeah. Say hi, Mom, in Spanish then. What is how do I say that in Spanish? Hi, Mom. The only reason I was hyped up was because of the subjective matter, but it wasn't even near one of their best songs. Well, what's one of their best songs in your opinion? Probably Eric. Only one that's not at nighttime, yeah. Hola, mama. Is that it? Hola, mama. Yeah. I should know how to say hello in Spanish. Freaking, that's like 101. Everyone knows that. Hola, mama. My phone is dying anyway. All right, Shells. Much love. All right, guys. Well, we had a pretty great live session, the first bit of live, but I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been 2 hours, and wait, this live is really going to a random place, so I might leave my mom. Thank you so much. Yeah. You are the philosophy guy. That's amazing. Well, yeah, I'm wrapping things up right now. So, guys, thanks for being a part of live. Really appreciate it. The first hour was great. This last half hour, 45 minutes, I'm like, what has been going on? But still really appreciate all of you guys listening. It's been amazing. And like, I appreciate you guys so much, and appreciate the conversation we have been having. So if you would like to be a part of the good conversation, come right at Fridays at 6 p.m. That way we can get started, hop this thing off, and then the weirdos come in late in the game. So there's that too. So yeah, really appreciate you guys. More content coming. Be on the lookout for the podcast. I've already got a couple of episodes under my belt, and more coming to you. So be on the lookout for that. Much more to come, and really appreciate you guys. And I hope you all have a fantastic Friday night. And yeah, all right, guys. See you next time. Peace out.